Hey Hoopers, so I was asked for some tutorials, so this is the one I'm going to start with. It's called the hug weave. So I had a lot of trouble when I was looking up the hug weave. I just recently learned this move myself, so I was having a lot of trouble trying to find hand placement and to kind of see how it varied around your body and what you were doing with each hand at each moment. I found a lot of the tutorials were very hard to understand, didn't quite show hand placement well enough to really grasp how to do the move, so I really hope this helps. For me, when I did the hug weave, I found that a lot of tutorials were doing this kind of odd thing where they were showing hand placement behind your back like this. But when you do the hug weave, this doesn't happen. It's good for understanding planes and things like that, but when you're doing this, it's not the hug weave. What you're really doing is bringing a hoop across your body as one's going behind you. So it's a little bit different, and I found that very confusing when I was trying to learn this move. So I really hope this helps. So to start, you want your right hand underneath your left. You want to lock at the elbows. What I suggest is putting both thumbs down, hoops together as if they were connected. Because ideally, when you do this move, it's a tracer. Similar to a lot of moves in poi, which just means that one hoop follows the other, and vice versa. So you always want to keep them as spread apart equally as possible. So when you do this move, you would start by taking your right hand, which is my green hoop, and tucking it behind your body. You're doing this as if you were doing a reverse weave. It's a little confusing at first, but if you can practice doing this, it'll definitely help. If you don't know a reverse weave, I definitely suggest checking it out. It's extremely hard, even especially with your arm underneath your back. With the other hand, so your left hand, or my blue hoop, you're going to be doing a forwards weave, which is also equally as confusing, only because you're still tucking it behind you, and doing the other hoop at the same time is a little confusing when you think about it that way. The easiest way I found to understand was when you start like this, usually with your hoops on the ground, thumbs pointing downward, palms out, elbows locked. Now when you do this, you're going to be tucking your right hoop behind your body. As you do this, you're going to come to this move, pretty much where your wrists are locked and your hoops look like they're on the wall behind you, which is ideally what you want. The confusing part is, a lot of people do this, and this doesn't happen. This isn't what you're doing with the hug weave. It does get you to the other side, which is how you finish the move. But that's not a hug weave. So, what I like to do is start on this back wall plane when you get to here. This hoop in my blue hand, which is my left hand, is going to go across my body. Not behind my head, but across my body. When this happens, this is going to be finishing out its rotation. So, goes behind me and out. You come to here. This is where the hoops are in front of you before the blue hoop goes behind and the green hoop in my right hand traces. So this is the less confusing part. So if you can get to this point where you kind of have your elbows locked in front of you with the hoops both out to the sides, you'll be able to get to the next move. Now it's just like transitioning between. That's complicated. So when you get to here, on the hoops on the wall behind you, on my right hand side, you bring the green hoop down and follow the blue hoop until you come to the very starting position again. So your grip never changes. The only thing is, when my green hoop is going behind me like this, I dip forward, because it's easier to get it behind me. When, on the other hand, I'm doing this side, when my blue hoop is going behind me, I dip to the other side, because it makes it easier for the hoop to pass behind you. So when you do this move, you kind of cradle back and forth. You can do it standing still once you get a little better at it, but it definitely helps to put a little, gives it a little flair. Ideally you want to be in loose grip. So what I suggest is just curling your fingers over, very loose. This way you can grab it easily, and you don't have to stress yourself out about it. So I'll give you all the angles. So this is forward, side of me. So, the important parts of this lesson are keeping your right hand underneath, palms facing out, thumbs down, planting it on the wall behind you, coming in front of your body, coming to the other side, planting the hip on the wall behind you, and coming to start. So ideally, you're just transitioning, one hoop going around, the other going behind. Trying to do it as slow as I can just to make it a little easier. And that's the hug weave. Well, I hope that helped. Happy hooping.